It was this past Sunday night here at LAX about 7:30, probably crowded because a lot of people were coming home from the New Year's holiday, when suddenly a man starts acting strangely. He starts saying, "I'm God, I'm in charge." LAX police arrest that man, and he turns out to be a TSA agent. The Transportation Security Administration has a new look and new security policies.
The changes rolled out on September 11th of this year. The new rules let the TSA employees avoid the same security screening procedures they're paid to monitor.
A CBS 2 News exclusive, they're responsible for keeping the skies safe. But we've uncovered a group of TSA screeners at LAX caught on tape allegedly using drugs.
Well, they're supposed to keep us safe when we fly, and said they might be leaving us even more vulnerable to terrorists. How is that possible? A Homeland Security report is slamming the Transportation Security Administration for not keeping track of security passes, uniforms of former workers. Those passes are the ones that grant access to these highly sensitive areas where baggage is screened, where the planes are parked.
Last month at the airport in Chattanooga, Tennessee, my 3-year-old daughter, Mandy, went from this happy little girl to this during an ordeal through security. My cell phone has about 17 seconds of this. Here, a TSA employee we've decided not to show is patting down Mandy while my wife holds her. First, they tried a handheld metal detector. Mandy was not in the mood. And the TSA employee, well, in my opinion, did not know how to communicate to her. All of this started after Mandy's teddy bear was taken away for screening through the X-ray.
Couldn't catch a guy with a bomb in his shorts aboard a plane bound for Detroit on Christmas Day. But they're absolutely hell on a disabled child with leg braces. The Transportation Security Administration refused to allow a 4-year-old disabled boy to pass through airport security without first taking off his leg braces. A Philadelphia Inquirer columnist reports how screeners at the Philadelphia airport made this insane request of a child taking his first flight to Disney World last March. The 4-year-old was born prematurely. He has malformed ankles and low muscle tone in his legs, and he was just beginning to walk at the time this happened. His parents told airport screeners their son couldn't walk without the braces, which are made of metal and plastic. But that didn't matter to the screener, who insisted that the child had to walk through the checkpoint on his own. When the father, who was a New Jersey police officer, asked to see a supervisor and told him that his 4-year-old son clearly was not a terrorist, he says the supervisor told him, quote, "You know why we're doing this," unquote.
A new low for the TSA agents, the airport screeners, making sure people don't carry bombs or explosives onto airplanes. A California woman is vindicated in a year-old case that's going to probably infuriate you. She was arrested, strip-searched, jailed, and brought to trial over applesauce for her ailing 93-year-old mother who she was traveling with.
Officers come up and they cuff me and they put me in the police car, and by now I'm hysterical because I've never had an encounter with the law.
Hayes was sued for misdemeanor battery by one of the TSA agents. Fast forward a year, $15,000, 2 judges and 2 attorneys. Everyone, including her family, wanted her to take a plea bargain. But she said in her heart she knew she didn't do anything wrong.
The toughest part was they all wanted me to take the plea bargain. And I said, no, I can't do it. And if nothing else, it's an example that I set for my family.
And today, a judge in a Glendale courtroom continued the case for 6 months, told the grandmother of 6 to stay out of trouble, and the case will be dismissed.
It should have happened a year ago. She should never have been arrested. She was arrested at the airport with her elderly mother. She was strip searched at a jail. This should never have happened.
Apparently now passengers can get in trouble at U.S. airports for simply studying a foreign language. What we have going on is the American Civil Liberties Union has filed a lawsuit today against the Transportation Security Authority and the FBI on behalf of a Californian physics student who was detained, handcuffed, and interrogated at a Philadelphia airport for up to 5 hours. This student, Nick George, was basically detained because he was studying Arabic at university.
She was blindsided by officers when she mistakenly went through an airport security with a bottle of eye contact solution. Robin says she was beaten so badly she actually wondered if she was going to die. Her ordeal was caught on tape. Look at this.
I just felt myself flying across the room. I thought I was going to die. I was flying from D.C. back home to New York. I got to the TSA screening and they x-rayed my bag and they said, "Oh, she's got a bottle." And I said, "Oh, that's just my contact lens solution. Feel free to throw it out." And then they took me to the secondary screening area. The officer came from behind, picked me up and threw me across the room into another passenger and into a metal chair. And then he took my arm and he started twisting it around till I felt it breaking. And I go, "Oh my God, you're breaking my arm." Then he picked me up, threw me against a metal table. There were 3 officers beating me up. There were 2 holding me down while he smashed my head into the table. I didn't know who was beating me up or why. I just kept saying, "Get off of me, get off of me, get off of me." He gave me a concussion from hitting my head against the table.
Here in Chicago, we watched as passengers like this man are subjected to exhaustive security checks. He's patted down, his wheelchair is examined, and his hands are swabbed, all in public view in a see-through room at the security checkpoint. And he's not alone.
It's humiliation.
71-year-old Robert Perry was also taken to a room like this by a TSA agent when his artificial knee set off the metal detector.
He yelled at me, "No, get the belt off. I told you to get the belt off." So I took the belt off. He ran his hands down over and pulled the pants down. They went down around my ankles.
At that point, Perry was standing in his underwear in public view. He asked to see a supervisor. That made things worse.
She was yelling, "I have power, I have power, I have power."
The power to stop him from flying to Florida with his wife that day to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary.
Make you feel like you have no rights.
Well, look, first of all, flying is not a right, it is a privilege. Flying is not a right, it is a privilege. Flying is not a right, it is a privilege.
It's the sort of security we've seen a lot of since 9/11 at places like airports and seaports and major sporting events. Now, here at the bus station.
To sort of invent the wheel in advance in case we have to, if there ever is specific intelligence requiring us to be here, this way us and our partners are ready to move in at a moment's notice.
What we're looking for are threats to national security as well as immigration law violators. We're also looking at one of our main initiatives, which is bulk cash smuggling.
And so passengers ready to head toward Orlando, Jacksonville, and points north had to go through a series of checks while Susu from the Tampa Airport Police Department gave the bus his sniff test. It's all part of what Homeland Security calls VIPER, for Visible Intermodal Prevention and Response. Yeah, they're big on initials. In this team effort between TSA, ICE, CBP, and TPD.
This is ongoing for us. We do this every day.
Well, imagine showing up for your next flight at the airport and being handed a device, a little bracelet, that would serve as your boarding pass. It would track your lost luggage. And it would also shock you with the same power as a taser if you get out of line. Well, a top official with the Department of Homeland Security has expressed interest in these so-called safety bracelets. So is this really the future of air travel?